Well, let's see. I wanted to do this last segment are watches that have a particular connection between my father and me. Now, my father's gone. Actually, in September it'll be 2 years. I miss him incredibly. I really, really do. But I have a connection to him on from several things. I mean, not just the watches, but all kinds of different levels that we don't need to bother you with. But I see these watches every day on winders, in cases, and I'm reminded. Oh yeah, that one, because he changed watches like 3 times a day, and he always had this one watch which was the evening watch, and I did not bring that because reasons. But this was a watch that heard me say that he wore this watch every day, and I told you what watch it is, you wouldn't believe me. It's raining again.
Yeah, it's raining.
Anyway, in here there is one watch that he really, really wanted to buy. Never got the opportunity to buy it, unfortunately. And I, I don't know why he loved this watch so much, other than, I mean, because he was a very simple watch guy. And he didn't like chronographs that much, but this watch is a chronograph. But this watch really kind of, made him happy to think about owning it. And that is the Omega Snoopy. That's the one where the spacecraft goes across the moon. I have to wind it to get it to do it. But for 14 seconds, the Apollo spacecraft will travel across the moon. I think you have to fire the chronograph.
Yeah.
And I think you have to fire the chronograph.
That's the first time I'm handling the Snoopy.
Anyway, this is the silver Snoopy. And let's see. Yeah, there it goes. Right there. And that'll last, I think, 14 seconds.
14 seconds as it goes behind the moon.
And you see also, if you look at the Earth on the back, you see the Earth is actually rotating, or turning. It's synced to, on the other side, it's synced to the constant second hand right there. So it's synced to that dial.
This is a beautifully fun
and
watch.
and those watches went from like $9,000 retail. I saw them going for $40,000 on the secondary market. And he just never got around to doing that watch because he had other things going on. I did not pay $40,000 for that watch, trust me. I did trade for this watch with European Watch Company. Shout out to my guy Robert. And I did it, and that watch was barely used, full kit, everything that was in there. I have a lot of Omega watches, but this one is probably the most fun watch. I'm in love with the Speedmaster. I love the Speed. In fact, my current Grail watch, that's not a Zelos, is the Speedmaster Moon to Mars.
Yeah.
It's a Moon to Mars.
Moon to Mars. Sorry, that's not a mission to Mars. Moon to Mars. Yeah.
And that one is beautiful, and I'm gonna get one as soon as I can, when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I think I messaged you once, but I think that one was a little bit too pricey at that point. And
yeah, and there was actually one for sale on Random Rob's Discord server for a really good price. Unfortunately, I was right in the middle of one of my infamous housing renovations, and all my ready capital was tied up in that. So, gotta have priorities, guys.
But this is also another promise fulfilled.
Yeah, promise fulfilled.
If your dad was
here. Good segue. Didn't mean for that. Didn't even think of that till just now. But it was a promise fulfilled. Now, this strap is not the strap the watch came with. That is a Collareb strap. Now, my
Collarebs are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm handling that as well.
My go-to strap, when I buy a leather strap, my go-to is Collareb in Italy. The prices are pretty good. They usually ship quickly and show up quickly, and the quality is beautiful. And I found Colareb through Urban Gentry.
Of course.
So shout out to Tristano. Thank you for turning me on to. He turned me on to a lot of things. Breitling, Colareb.
Colareb was Tristano's artem to
Yeah.
my channel.
Well, it still is, as far as I know.
These two are beautiful together.
Yes, they are.
Like,
I'm a big fan of the blue.
If
this thing had an orange, couple of orange hands on it, that would be perfect.
That'd be great. That'd be perfect.
But it doesn't fit with the seriousness of the.
No, but it's like these are the two promises fulfilled right here.
Yes.
Very nice.
So, I had to get a Snoopy. At some point, I told my mom about that, and she thought that was a little nuts. But she said, "Well, it's something that you two always talked about." And when I finally got it and I showed it to her, she said, "I get it." And she can wear that watch barely, but she can wear it.
Yeah. It's actually like smaller. It wears smaller.
It's a 40. I think it's a 40.
But it's all Speedy are like that anyway.
Yeah.
But
no, wait, that might be a 42.
Maybe a 41.
I should have brought a pair of calipers.
But the white dial and the blue bezel makes it look smaller.
Yeah. Now another watch that is connected to my father indirectly is this one here. Now this I promised Jason would be the most unique watch that I show him at all. Now it is.
Holy cow.
Now this is a big watch. The reason that this watch is unique is not the mechanism itself, which is a standard ETA movement, but it's
like, oh, okay. So these are like glass.
Yes. Now this watch is from an art studio in Venice called, and
you got to see this, like
Massimiliano Schiavano. Schiavano art team.
Schiavano. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Now the story behind it. Now, first of all, what you're looking at on the back here is a technique called millefarina.
Okay.
These are little tubes of glass. On the outside, they look like a tube of glass, but on the inside, they have patterns. Like this this one here in the strap is basically these guys on the back before heat treatment.
Oh.
Okay. And the heart here on the crown is this guy before heat treatment.
It looks like a heart too.
Yeah. Nice. These are when you take these glass rods and you cut them, and then they have patterns in them.
And then you have to expand them, I think.
Yeah,
like
you do. But when you cut them, and after you expand them, right. when you cut them, they have these patterns. Then you put them together in these designs.
And they're also, I imagine all of them are unique.
Yeah, they are. And the design technique is called millefiori.
Fury. Okay.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a fired, something like that.
And it's all glass. Now, the story behind the watch is the owner of this design studio passed away. He was he not only was a glass artist, but he was a glass collector and a watch collector. His son decided to make as tribute to his father, like I bought this Snoopy as tribute to my father. He made these watches, and they come in different colorways on the front. They have a green one, red one, orange one, white one. The skeletons are different colors. And
that's super.
And the glass that they do is different styles. Now it came with a deployed clasp, which was not the greatest, and I adapted it to a pin buckle clasp.
But it's basically the same strap still.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I didn't want to change the strap because it has that piece in there.
Piece in there. Yeah. This is very unique. I've seen some glass making videos and making them into this small, and I imagine that the glass also has to be fairly thick for that to be done.
That's why the watch is as big as it is.
That's very, very unique. And that's it's kind of like the way a Damascus is done, but in a more delicate.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
And this is unique to this company, and nobody else is really doing that.
Are they still open? Are they still
Oh yeah, they have a store. Well, they have an art studio and hot shop on the island of Murano.
Yeah, it's made in Murano. So.
Yeah, it is Murano, and it's Murano glass. And I visited the shop there, the hot shop, and actually um, I was there in Venice. First time I was in Venice with my mom and our financial advisor, the old family friend. She's a wonderful lady. She actually bought she commissioned a piece, and it was delivered, and it's beautiful. They actually have a storefront on the Fundamente in Murano, and that's where I found. They have a bunch of watches there.
Yeah,
And
I asked that because me and my other business partner with the other watches, we're actively looking for artistic uh, components for our watches, and of course you would look at the dials. So we're looking for artistic dials that we could apply that you've never seen before. And I think if these small shops can make this into even thinner wafers of glass,
they probably could. You should contact
then
them.
we could contact them and we could maybe
Well, I
collaborate.
bought a necklace for a friend of mine as a
That would be great for a dial. Look at that.
yeah, as a holiday gift in the same Millefiori vein, and it's the thickness of a coin. I mean,
If he could uh, manufacture something small batch, I know that it's going to be the failure rate would be sky high.
You have
Sure.
no idea.
Because I'm imagining that this alone would have been like difficult or challenging. So,
Yeah.
To say the least.
Well, you'd have to contact them to find out how challenging.
If it's even possible at all. But it could be something that we could explore because we are actually looking at that now. We've even my guy even contacted someone. I think it's here in the United States. I don't know if it's in Texas or something. He takes these copper wafers and he fires them like with a torch, very small torch, into different patterns, and the way that's blued has a different gradients and different pattern to it. So we're looking at those kind of artistic dials.
Well, when I go back to Venice next April, that's in the planning stages now, but I plan on getting another one of these. I haven't decided if it's going to be the green one or maybe the orange one. Probably the orange one because I'm demented like that. But I plan on, and there was another shop there that I didn't buy the watch from, but I thought about it. But it was the dial was all Millefiori, but it was all Millefiori of white, grays, and blacks, different shades of blacks, different shades of gray, and it was beautiful. But I didn't trust the movement, and looking back on it, I made a mistake. I should have. I did a little more research when I got home, and I found out, oh, well, that's sort of a copy of an ETA. I probably could have gotten away with it, and I didn't. And you know what? I'm going to go back, and I'm going to find that shop again. I know where it is on Murano. They probably don't have it, but if they do, it's going home with me.
Well, my business partner is big on movements, so he's gonna make sure that those movements are.
Well, I didn't want it to be cheap Chinesium, I mean, because how are you going to get that service?
Yeah, that's it. It's difficult.
I mean, with a Millefiori glass dial, your movement better be damn good.
Yeah.
Because trying to take that watch apart is probably going to be a nightmare. Anyway, moving on. Where am I now? I have
the last one.
Not that one. No, not
yet.
The last one.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, yeah, we got to do this one. You're gonna like this one, I think. Did I buckle this one in? Don't look.
Well, okay, let me check the.
Yeah.
We're still going. So still good.
Okay. My father was very big on the brand Ulysses Nardin.
Yeah.
And he was very big. Well, I own now quite a variety of Ulysses Nardins. But one of the watches series that he really, really loved was the Cloisonnés. And he owned quite a number of them. I'm going to keep 5 of them. My mom's got one. The other couple of them were a little bit too weird for my taste. One of them was a snake.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay.
But of all the cloisonnés that he owned, his favorite one was the Flying Cloud.
Wow. Yeah, I have an idea what cloisonne.
Cloisonné.
Yeah.
It's a ceramic technique.
Okay, but to get that, you have to line them with precious metal, each and every line,
And you have to fire them individually.
and then and then you have to put the enamel
Yep.
or in between.
I don't understand it fully, but this was his favorite of the cloisonnés.
And the thing is, like, look at that. I mean, it has a. Wait, I have to show that. That you have to see in close up, though. We're gonna shoot these in close up so that you could see them.
Yes.
But to me, Ulysse Nardan is a little bit underrated because before I went to Shiva's, I used to make a couple of videos for another watch store in Aruba, and the very first one that I made for them, the video that I made for them is for one of the Ulysse Nardan. I think it's not a freak. I don't remember what it is, but the finishing on the cases,
yes,
finishing inside is amazing. Better than Rolex, guys. Better than Rolex.
Yeah, Ulysses Nardin does it.
This is really good.
And nobody does blue like Ulysses Nardin does blue.
Oh, that I don't know.
I have a Ulysses Nardin Classico at home with an all blue dial which explodes off the dial.
And the beauty of this is that you're gonna see this in close-ups. Is that this has those gradients in between,
yep.
and that I would imagine they would have to powder those individual areas of a different pigment compared to the creamy sales of the
yep.
rest. And again with cloisonne, you have to angle each and every line. These are actual metal, not rods, strips that the artist needs to
strands. Really.
The strands, yeah, exactly, strands, and they have to be positioned precisely. Otherwise, it won't hold the pigments, or the pigments would go out, and then
you ruin it, and you have to read.
I know that because I forgot his name now. I have a viewer. He also launched a channel, but didn't take off. He's a German guy, and he commissioned Benjamin C. of I don't remember the watch brand now.
H. Moser and C.
No, it is BH something like that.
Okay.
It's a smaller micro brand, but it's more artisan, and he commissioned in the thousands just for the dial, and I think he ended up like paying 30K for the whole thing. Yeah. But that's also a cloisonne.
But it's actually also a very functional watch. If you turn it over, you see it's an automatic.
And Ulysse Nardan has this is this Jeanette? No, this is not. I don't know.
I think it's an in-house movement.
Yeah.
This one was recently serviced. It failed on him, and we got it serviced and got it back before he passed away.
And this is a platinum.
Yes. Platinum. Solid platinum.
This is amazing. This is a work of art.
And I think it says on the side there the number of made.
The number made. Only 30. Only 30 made of these. These are some of the rarest watches that I've ever handled in the channel. and these are
Don't drop it.
tremendous. Yeah, definitely not. We're going to lay them, like baby them as much as possible. But I mean, not that it's very,
You
very
can see he wore it
He
because
wore that.
the alligator strap has got good wear marks on it.
But
He
it's really,
he
really
wore
nice.
he wore all his watches,
That's a true
but
enthusiast.
but he loved the Flying Cloud, and he had the other ship cloisonnés, but
That's the one
that one was the one he always went back to.
Okay, so now this one's a little bit more special, as
Yeah.
I
Now,
expect.
yeah, I want to backstory this real quick. My family, my mom and my dad specifically, are very big into glass collecting. They they have one of the biggest glass art collections in the world. Um, I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just saying it because it is a matter of fact, and it connects to the story. They know a lot of the artists personally. A lot of now there are two or three ground zeros for art production, glass art in the world. One of them is Seattle, Washington. That's where Dale Chihuly works out of. Guys like Chihuly, Martin Blank, Richie Royal, guys like those. Then you have guys like Ilyáš working out of Prague in the Czech Republic. But by far and away, the biggest and the oldest of all those centers of art production is Venice and Murano. Um, so my parents went to Venice and Murano many, many, many times. Until my father couldn't travel anymore. And the last time he went was 2014. So it was 10 years ago. And I never went with them. I didn't really have a lot of opportunities to do it because I was trying to raise my family. So I never got the privilege of seeing what my dad saw and experiencing what he experienced. And he would tell me about these places, and they would just be points on a map to me. The Piazza San Marco, the Giudecca, the bell tower, uh, the Lion of Venice,
yeah.
The Grand Canal, the Academia Bridge, the Giudecca Canal, all these restaurants and shops, and then Murano itself with guys like Lino Tagliapetra, Davide Salvatore, um, and Bubacco, and one other guy whose name escapes me. It'll come to me later. Well, the giants, the maestros. These are the captains. There's God, and then there's these guys, and then there's everybody else. That's the ranking. And these were friends of theirs. These are people, and I got to meet all of them when they came to Florida. And they've all, well, Bubacco hadn't been to Florida as far as I know, but the other guy, well, no, he has, but I didn't get to meet him. But the others have been. And all those guys from Seattle I've met. So I know these people and wonderful people. Thank God they don't know my politics. I kid, not really. But April of this year, 2024, I finally got the opportunity to go to Venice with my mom and my financial advisor who had never been to Venice. But my mom knew Venice, but hadn't been in 10 years. And she had a real urge to go before I can't anymore. Whatever. She's in better shape than I am. So we went, and I got to see and experience all these things that I've been hearing about for decades. And ironically, in April in Venice, it's a little chilly. So, for a Floridian. So I brought with me a jacket that happened to be just the right weight and for that, but not too heavy and so on. And it happened to be an old jacket of my father's, a leather bomber style jacket. That because he and I were different sizes, the jacket actually fit me. Shocking. So, and I had experienced, and I got to experience the Piazza San Marco. I got to see the bell tower. I got to see the Grand Canal. I got to walk the steps of the Accademia Bridge. I got to be on the Giudecca Canal and see. We didn't get to go to the island, but we will this next trip. I got to see all these. I got to eat in the same restaurants he and my mom ate at, and be with the people he was with. And one day I was and one of the days, like really early into the trip, I was at the top of the Accademia Bridge. It's 52 steps up, 52 steps down. I'm at the top of the bridge. I'm looking out on the Grand Canal. I'm looking at the cathedral in the distance, where 2 days earlier the Pope had made an appearance. Mm-hmm. We didn't know that was happening. I'm Jewish, so it didn't really bother me. But it didn't affect me. Yeah, it's an event. It was what an event! Wow, wonderful. But they closed off San Marco. We couldn't get in it because he was in there. And anyway, I'm sitting there at the top of the bridge looking out, and I'm wearing his jacket. And all of a sudden, I found myself kind of in a bit of a mini trance, and I could feel him right there behind me, talking to me. This is what I was talking about. Now you see. And I said, "Yep, I see." And at that moment, I had a profound understanding that I never had before of an element of my mom's and my dad's life that I never had before. And I understood. I understood why they had this connection to a land far away, completely different culture, completely different way of living. There's not a car on everything is walking or hand carts. They don't even allow bicycles on the island. Literally, I mean, there wasn't a bicycle there. The guys in DHL shirts, uh, running around with carts stacked high, 50 feet high, full of packages, going, "Scusi, scusi, attenzione," and you can either get out of the way or get run over. And I got it. And then we were heading to San Marco anyway, because I wanted to get some wrist shots of a watch I was wearing in front of the tower. And I did. I showed them to you. Mm-hmm. And when we got to San Marco, I saw it in a whole new light. And then I remembered this watch, the Hour Striker, Ulysses Nardin Hour Striker.
Wow. This is the only time I've seen this in Instagram.
Yeah. I don't have an Instagram account, by the way. Amazing. If you push the bottom button, it should strike. Because it's after 12.
And the thing is, like, it's very animated.
Oh yeah, this is the bell and the striker are taken from the bell and striker on the clock tower in San Marco. Oh, wow. Piazza San Marco. That is on top of the bell.
So
the
no
bell
wonder
tower.
Your dad was wearing that.
And he found this watch. I think it was from European Watch Company, and he didn't even negotiate with them. He bought it, and when it showed up, I mean, the man. I only saw him cry once in my entire life, but that wasn't that time. That was a different thing. But I could see the emotion when he took this watch out of the box and wound it up and put it on.
That's amazing.
Then we couldn't figure out how the damn thing worked. So I actually found a YouTube video from Tommaso.
Yeah, of course.
To the rescue. Different colorway, but same watch.
Same watch.
Showed me that. If you wind it this way, backwards, mm-hmm. that winds the watch. If you wind it forward, that winds the mechanism that fires the bell striker. And then you can turn it on and off with this button. So the hourglass means it's off, I think. And then if you turn it to on, then at the top of every hour, it should strike the number of hours.
That's amazing.
And it's on an alligator strap. It's a genuine alligator. It's a Ulysses Nardin strap. You can see, I had to make an extra hole for him. And it's small scale alligator, which is, this was without a doubt. And he used to call every watch his favorite watch. No.
This
one was his favorite watch. This one, and then the Flying Cloud was number 2.
Very nice. And now, you said you wanted to hold out on the Bella Norte.
Yeah, the Bella Norte. Now, this is a micro brand. It's a $700 watch. What's it doing in this collection? I mean, in this group. I mean, my collection makes perfect sense because I like Veneziano quite a bit. And I own 4, and I've got one on order, the Enigma. And actually, I already bought a Bella Notte for myself. And then I showed it to my mom. And because of her connection to Venice, she stole it from me. She won't give it back.
She's a true watch pirate mom, guys. So
watch pirate, a watch thief. She stole it from me. She does, by the way, own a Zelos. It is a 40 millimeter swordfish, bronze with the salmon dial. So,
yes, there you go.
Jayson had one. I don't exactly know how you have this. I think you got it for review, and we're allowed to keep it, and sold it to me.
Yes.
So now this watch, it is going to a good home. I'm not even going to pretend to be modest. It's going to an excellent home. This watch is made from the perspective of the viewer. You're in the Plaza San Marco. You're looking out towards the temple on the island of Giudecca. That's the dome that you see. You have the basilica, not the basilica, the
library.
The library, which used to be a prison, on the left here. You have the bell tower, and you have the tower with the Lion of San Marco in the very foreground. The dial of the watch, the micro dial of the watch, is mother of pearl to represent the moon. And those things that look like they should be moons are actually fireworks, sunbursts, or starbursts, because the watch, and it's against, of course, the Aventurine dial is the night sky with all the stars. And it represents the celebration of the Bella Notte, the beautiful night. And you see that on the back, on the case back. You want to give them a close up of that.
There you go. I actually wasn't able to talk about it, the case back, as much.
Probably because the watch was in an embargo state.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, there's only so much that I could talk about in my videos without going over the...
And the watch isn't rare. I think there's 500 of them. That's not terribly rare. That's not... I mean, there's a lot of them, but not a lot of them. You understand. It's not a rare watch. It's not... well, it isn't. It isn't. But it's a beautifully artistic watch. And it links these 3 watches together. Here, hold the... Yeah, I'll hold the Millefare. It links these watches together as the Venice watches. Watches that meant a lot to my father and would have meant a lot to my father if he was still with us. And these 3 watches have a very special connection to me.
Oh, this one has the lion.
Yeah, it's the Lion of Venice. And I think it's fairly rare.
Very rare.
I think. Well, it should be. It's rare to me because it's never leaving my collection.
You can imagine my perspective. That's even rarer for me.
So those 3 watches that I wanted to end this with bring the connection with my father, who was with my mom the biggest influences in my life, as they should be. I mean, they are my parents, but also my father being the big influence on my collection. Now, his collection, when it was his and mine, differed in that he liked a simple dial. He was a fool for H. Moser and C, with their really simple, in some cases, completely unadorned dials. Whereas I like a busy dial. I love chronographs. I love complications. I love moon phases. I love skeletons. I don't know that he would have bought this, but he would have appreciated it. I don't know if he would have bought a skeleton watch himself. But now that the two collections are one, and I see where I can see with the two collections together, his influence on my collection style, even though I had my own style, but I also took from him inspiration as well. And these three watches represent my father's influence on my collection and on my life.
Very nice. Very beautiful.
And that's it. There ain't no more.
Well, I mean,
until he comes to Sarasota, and then we can do it all.
Well, we'll do that one day for sure. I mean, we want to go to Sarasota also.
You do?
Of course. I mean, yeah, we want to, especially now that we've met you, and knowing that it's also a sort of a seafood state. We could treat it that way.
You ever had alligator?
Yeah. Well, we had in
Florida,
so that's also.
But I like this. I like this.
I'm happy that you appreciate
that. Looks great, and I've never had an Artem strap before.
Well, now you do.
Now I see what you see.
And it's
sailcloth. It doesn't feel like you're wearing 30 grit sandpaper.
No. It's very supple, but at the same time, it's very durable.
And the clasp is definitely an Omega.
Yeah, it is. That's why we're also pirating that kind of clasp as well.
As usual.
But there you go. That's Dane. Once again, he has an amazing collection, but most importantly, it's the connection that we have with watches, the connection that he had with his father, with his mother, and it's amazing.
There's a lot of blue there.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue. We love blue. I mean,
yes, we do.
And now it's not only you, also me. I love blue. I always have to have blue in my collection. I think I still have a few at home. But there's very little hobby out there that you could actually see that kind of connection between people represented in a way that is represented in a watch. Because in a watch, there's so many different dimensions and angles to it, the stories that you could have. I can say you could probably say the same with other items, but it's the one that we tend to gravitate towards, and it has such a wide range of design that it encompasses. So the stories are much more flavorful, I would say. And definitely, Dane, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Your very personal story, and it's beautiful. And I'm sure that if your dad was here, he could see this video. He'd be more than proud for you to continue with.
He'll see it
with the collection, and it's an honor to be part of not part, but at least share with the collection for me to at least get this very personal.
And I thank you for the gift. Thank you for the opportunity to buy one of these, so now I can have one too. Love you, Ma.
Thanks to Mom. Yeah.
Love you, Ma, but you stole a watch from me.
Very nice. Thank you again, Dane. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. That's a wrap.